We just got a very interesting leak drop about Sandrone, the future direction of cryo reactions in Snezhnaya, Nicole's actual power level, and even new details about Linnea, and if this information is accurate. The reaction meta in Genshin Impact is about to change in a very calculated way, not just through bigger numbers, but through completely different mechanics. Starting with Sandrone, she is reportedly designed as a sub-DPS similar in role to an FA, which immediately tells us she is not meant to be a selfish hypercarry-like skurk, but rather a character built around enabling and amplifying reactions while contributing consistent damage from a structured state. The biggest detail here is that Snezhnaya is introducing a mutated version of Superconduct, and this is not the old physical resistance shred reaction that barely does damage. This is a completely new system. When Sandrone enters a special state, Cryo and Electro can coexist on the enemy at the same time instead of overriding each other, and during this state, she can apply resistance shred and accumulate Cryo plus Electro damage. And once a certain reaction coefficient threshold is reached, it settles into a single instance of high damage. This damage does not scale with damage bonus, it cannot trigger other reactions, and it does not apply elements, meaning it is a controlled detonation mechanic, not a chain reaction system. The damage frequency is around every 6 seconds, but if you increase cryo and electro application frequency, the reaction settles faster, which means faster attacks and faster application directly accelerate the detonation timing. So team building will heavily favor characters that apply elements rapidly and consistently. During this coexistence state, Electro is prioritized for swirl or crystallize interactions, which adds another layer of complexity when pairing her with Anemo or Geo units. There were concerns about whether Cryo DPS would be forced into restrictive design again, but according to the leak that is not the case, and Sandrone is said to be strong and capable of working with existing Cryo and Electro characters when she releases, meaning she should not be locked behind future units to function properly. In terms of overall Snezhnaya cryo design, Melt will still exist alongside this new superconduct direction, so the region is expanding reaction identity rather than deleting older mechanics. Moving on to Nicole, expectations need to be realistic, because the leak clearly says not to expect another llama-level unit. At Constellation 0, Nicole reportedly has an incomplete kit that mainly provides attack buffs, and her buff duration can be extended by hexeride damage, meaning she relies on teammates from that faction or damage type to maximize uptime. Her damage bonus buff was moved to Constellation 1, so part of her full value is locked behind investment, but her base kit does have off-field damage comparable to Chiori level, which means she is not weak, just not universally broken at base. Each different hexeride teammate extends her buff duration. Short rotations are fine, but long rotations may require up to 4 hexeride units, which suggests she can become somewhat faction-dependent depending on team structure. Varka is said to be definitely optimal with her, and at Constellation 6 her buff activation is tied to her burst rather than her skill, meaning her gameplay at high investment revolves around Q-start rotations. Now looking at Linnea, she is confirmed as Geo and is described as energy-focused, meaning she heavily scales with energy recharge and likely requires significant ER investment to function smoothly. At Constellation 1 she gains an extra skill use, she has strong support capabilities, and her off-field damage can trigger something called lunar crystallize. Her skill has 2 versions, tap makes her dash or charge forward, and hold releases 1 projectile every 2 seconds. Her burst grants lunar crystallize and 40% resistance shred, which is a very significant shred value, and to maximize her output you need to stack defense, meaning she is a defense-scaling Geo support with both utility and respectable damage. At Constellation 0 to 1 she is said to be between Inefa and Llama in strength, which places her in a solid but not absurd tier. Overall, this entire leak suggests that Snezhnaya is shifting cryo gameplay away from simple reaction spam and towards structured accumulation mechanics, controlled detonation timing, faction-based synergy scaling. and stat-specific builds like energy recharge and defense stacking, meaning future teams may require more careful rotation planning and elemental application management rather than just raw stat stacking, and if this direction remains unchanged. The Cryo and Electro meta is about to become more technical and more rotation-dependent than ever before. And that's everything we know so far about Sandrone, the new Superconduct direction, Nicole, and Linnea. Also, quick reminder, the 5 Welkin Moon giveaway is live right now. If you haven't participated yet, don't miss it. All the details are in video link mentioned in the description. And I'm going to be honest with you, the channel has been struggling recently. The reach is down, the numbers are down, and right now every single like and every genuine comment actually makes a difference. If you enjoy this type of detailed leak breakdown and meta-analysis, take 2 seconds to like the video and drop your thoughts in the comments. That small action genuinely helps push the video back into the algorithm and helps the channel stand on its feet again.